From the island, I ain't from no state. Buy my ticket and I on my way. I come and move that my mommy baby Johnny, yeah. That my brother often go out there. Let the DJ play some Raven straight. From the island, I ain't from no state. I come and know it ain't no place like home. 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 Na 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 na. Na 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 na. I love it. Na 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 na. I love them hard. I work out, got plenty girls. All they want is money. Take them out to a f*** and want some. Do you have a man? She have nobody. I want you.
Tonight, a defense force officer charged before the courts. We'll tell you why coming up. This as Prime Minister Philip Davis looks to bring power relief in Abaco. And late, a committee to review national wages to be considered as the cost of living increases. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, a 22-year-old Bahamian man behind bars accused of sexually assaulting a 6-year-old girl, Conrad Clark, charged with unlawful sexual intercourse in connection with an incident allegedly occurring back on August 22nd. He appeared before Magistrate Abigail Farrington. He's not required to enter a plea to those charges. Bail has been denied. Now, he's due back in court on December 15th. More news from the courts tonight. A Royal Bahamas Defense Force Marine mechanic behind bars facing serious firearm and drug-related charges following an alleged high-speed police chase over in Grand Bahama. Kieran Roll was hauled before the Freeport's court, where he was charged with 2 counts of possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life, along with 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs. The charges stemming from an incident on Saturday, August 22nd, when officers attempted to stop a gray Volvo in Grand Bahama. Authorities alleging that Roll, who was driving that vehicle, failed to stop and instead accelerated, sparking a chase. Police further allege that during the pursuit, Roll discharged a firearm and threw several objects from the vehicle's window, the chase eventually coming to a stop when Roll allegedly lost control of that vehicle, which collided with a coconut tree. He was arraigned in the magistrate's court and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Meantime, 3 Bahamian men being charged in connection with that $1.6 million cocaine drug bust in Farmers Key, Exuma, back on August 22nd. Prosecutors say Jonathan Cartwright, Terrence Gibson Jr., and Caltrico McKinsey, a Grand Bahamian, were in possession of the cocaine with intent to supply. The trio is also charged with conspiracy to possess cocaine with the intent to supply. It also ties them to the drug bust or firearm charges, with police accusing the men of possessing an unlicensed firearm and ammunition. The men pleaded not guilty to those charges. They were granted bail in the amount of $100,000. They returned to court on December 7th for trial. Meantime, how strong is the case? It's a question tonight following yesterday's arraignment of an 18-year-old who faced a long list of charges, including murder, before the courts. Our Jose Etienne has the breakdown in this story tonight.
19-year-old Diamonique Webster's arraignment on Thursday is raising a pointed question tonight. How did the accused end up facing a staggering string of charges tied to 3 murders, while the other alleged players in those cases remain at large? The question comes amid perceptions that police may be holding Webster accountable for a broader string of crimes, given that she's the only suspect currently in custody. Local defense attorney Christina Calanes says she's not discounting that possibility.
Is it some intimidation exercise to get her to talk? Probably. Usually we see that happening more at the police investigation stage where you see suspects being beaten. Rarely do we see it happening, okay, well, I'm going to bring these trumped up charges.
Galanis is now weighing in on a case that has gripped the nation's attention as Webster, who turns 19 today, faces 3 murder charges, 3 attempted murder charges, and a string of firearms-related offenses. However, police reports paint a different picture, alleging Webster had male accomplices during the 3 murders. Yet legal minds say the charges, as currently laid, appear to portray Webster as acting alone, with no specific indication that she allegedly committed the offenses while acting in concert with others.
For us, it's just something that the Crown has to prove. If that's what they're saying, they're going to have to prove that. If they can't prove that, it falls short.
She does not see the discrepancy between the police reports and the charges as a necessary setback for prosecutors, pointing to previous cases in which charges have been amended as matters progress and the evidence becomes clearer.
These charges are often amended at the Supreme Court stage. The key words I imagine that they would seek to place in there is being concerned together to turn it into a joint enterprise.
Whether the charges are amended or not, the severity of the allegations against Webster remains. In the Gladstone Road killing, she's alleged to have been the getaway driver while 2 men opened fire. But if prosecutors can prove that Webster knowingly participated in the offense, Galana says she could still face the full weight of the law.
If it is determined that you have assisted in any way, then you can definitely be convicted of murder being concerned with others.
Now, while a murder conviction may be possible even where the accused did not pull the trigger, sentencing is a separate matter and the court would have to consider carefully the role Webster allegedly played. That brings the focus back to a key question. If Webster was the alleged getaway driver in the Gladstone Road killing, would her role carry the same weight as that of the men accused of pulling the trigger?
The level of culpability, as far as I'm concerned, for a getaway driver is not the same as someone that actually places a mask on their face, runs out of the car, shoots someone however many times.
For now, Webster remains behind bars as she awaits her return to court for the presentation of the voluntary bill of indictment in February of next year. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, the fight against illegal firearms continues to present a major challenge for police, with Commissioner Shanton Knowles acknowledging that the Bahamas ports of entry can make tracking gun shipments a difficult task. Her comments come after a deadly weekend that saw 3 men killed in separate incidents, including a shooting caught on camera where high-powered firearms were used. Knowles says despite these challenges, police remain determined to get these dangerous weapons off of the streets.
You're asking me about firearms and what we're doing about them. As you know how the makeup of our country, it makes it a little difficult. But that certainly does not remove us from the responsibility of preventing these illegal weapons from coming into our country. And so yes, the firearms, anti-gang and firearms team are actively working along with our partners at Customs Bahamas Customs, and of course Defense Force who monitors our waters, and of course anything that is important into our country. So we are definitely working our mandate to ensure that these weapons do not come into our country, and if they happen to come into our country, that we are able to track them and take them off our streets.
The top cop also pointed to previous firearm seizures as evidence of what police can achieve when those weapons are intercepted before they reach the street. She says the force intends to build on those successes as the fight against illegal guns continues.
We were looking for success like that again, and so the officers continue to put their best efforts forward. We appeal to the public for information that can assist us in tracking what illegal items may come into our country so that we can take them off our streets before they get into hands of those who we don't want them in the hands of, and especially our young people.
Meantime, 2 men also brought before the magistrate's court on Thursday in connection with separate murder incidents. Police say they believe 21-year-old Lamar Paul, he's the gunman responsible for the murder of Aaron Bethel, a man who was gunned down in front of a Sampson Street business on July 21st. CCTV footage captures the gunman alleged to be Paul targeting Bethel, while others nearby went scrambling for safety as gunfire erupted. He was charged minutes after Kimon Newbold, a 32 22-year-old man, who authorities say was the gunman behind a double shooting on Christmas Eve last year that left 25-year-old Christopher Mott Jr. dead and Tyrese Johnson clinging to life. Mott, who was said to be a mechanic at the Beaches and Parks Authority, was found dead inside his red Nissan Cube with multiple gunshots at the intersection of Graham Drive and Lime Street around 7 p.m. that night. Both men were not required to enter a plea, and bail has been denied. They returned to court on February 18th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. Until then, they're being held at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. On to some other news tonight. Residents in Abaco could soon see a major shift in the reliability of their power supply as construction progresses on a new hybrid power plant. It's aimed at strengthening generation on the island. Prime Minister Philip Davis touring that facility today, getting a first-hand look at the project government hopes will help to bring an end to generated-related load shedding by the end of this year. Devontae Hanna has the details tonight.
For residents of Abaco who have endured repeated power outages and load shedding, government says relief is on the way. Prime Minister Philip Davis touring the construction of the island's new hybrid power plant today, a project expected to bring more reliable electricity and reduce generation-related outages once completed.
Abaco will be home to the first hybrid solar and LNG power plant in the history of this country. This facility will be capable of powering the whole of the Abaco mainland.
The facility, being developed by EA Energy near BPL's Wilson City Power Plant, will combine liquefied natural gas, solar power, and battery storage to create a hybrid microgrid for the island. For the project, which dates back to an agreement signed in April 2025, construction officially moved forward last year after environmental approvals were secured and financing finalized.
The construction of this facility is well advanced. The solar panels are 100% completed, and the powerhouse building is approximately 25% completed. Our engines are due to be arriving on the site in November of this year, and our batteries will arrive in October.
The Abaco plant is expected to include roughly 30 megawatts of natural gas generation, along with solar generation and a 15 megawatt hour battery energy storage system.
Considering the impact of Hurricane Dorian, we have also ensured that this facility is able to withstand major hurricane force winds. This renewable energy project will assist in lowering electricity bills, expand electricity generating options for Abaco, and lessen our impact on climate change.
The development comes as the Davis administration faces continued scrutiny over the reliability of electricity supply across the country.
And I know that an apology isn't enough, but I want to assure every Bahamian that we are working to improve our energy security in both the short and long term.
Officials say that the integration into the grid for this solar panel will begin as early as November, but will be completed by May 2027. But they warn it will not completely eliminate a fuel charge that you see on your bill. But what you're looking at is what they call a $90 million investment into a new energy era piloted here in Abaco for the entire Bahamas. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, the Energy Minister, JoBeth Colby Davis, defending BPL's summer preparedness amid months of power disruption, saying the utility company was ready, but extreme heat put unexpected pressure on the power grid. Colby Davis says BPL prepared for what it considered typical summer conditions, but temperatures climbed well beyond expectations. She says in June alone, the number of days with temperatures above 90 degrees was more than 4 times what officials had anticipated, driving up power demand and putting additional strain on the system. The explanation coming after a difficult summer for BPL and consumers.
So we prepared our system, our summer readiness, our generation, while at the same time doing our foundational work. Now, our foundational work sometimes put anomalies and inconvenience on some of our circuits, and as a result of the stress and the pressure from the heat that we experienced this year, it caused a lot of disruptions, which we have been managing. But based on what our technical advice and guidance was from the numbers and the work that we did in our summer readiness program, everything was ready to withstand a summer that is normally captured here.
Well, the focus of repatriation exercises is typically on migrants here in the Bahamas, but in the meantime, officials say there are Bahamians being kicked out of other countries as well. Our Danielle Dean has that story tonight.
They got to be Bahamian citizens so they don't get landed.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
140 Bahamians have been deported home from the United States for 2026 alone. This figure came from Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell, who in recent history has strongly advised Bahamians to be more responsible, stressing how difficult it is to reverse the consequences of overstaying.
In January 30, February 14, March 30, April 18, May 14, June 14, July 2, August 18, for a total of 140 this year. Deported from the United States.
This comes as the government continues to carry out a series of repatriation exercises mainly involving Haitian nationals, with the most recent being Thursday, where 104 Haitian nationals were sent back home. For some, the revelation that Bahamians are too being returned home is a humble reminder that there are some that believe they have a shot at a better life in another country, even if they have to do it illegally. For other residents, they say overstaying Bahamians will mean the innocent suffer for the guilty.
The same way how we are behind the government to deport illegal immigrants, I do believe that if Bahamians are somewhere illegally, that they should be deported back home also. And if they get deported, then you get deported. You can't get mad. You don't have your papers, and don't make it hard for me. I need to travel. So come, and if you don't come willingly, and if they ship you here back home, then so be it.
It's not worth pretending you've gone off to greener pastures, this resident argues, when you're not doing it the right way.
They post a lifestyle that isn't really real. So you would be in the Bahamas saying that, okay, so-and-so is in New York or in California and they live in, but at the end of the day, they may be living worse than you. It's just a facade that they are living better in another country.
As the United States tightens up on its immigration crackdown, foreign affairs officials warn Bahamians to lawfully seek residency and citizenship in other countries. Otherwise, a buildup of offenses could be to the detriment of the wider Bahamian public. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, the conversation over a possible increase in minimum wage is back in the public eye tonight, with the National Tripartite Council calling for an equitable wage setting committee to review minimum wages and ensure that workers' pay keep pace with the rising cost of living. Our Laurencia Smith has more on this tonight.
But why did we take so long to raise our minimum wage? It took us a decade before that was done. Why?
The National Tripartite Council Chair Sharon Martin says the country cannot afford to wait years between minimum wages increase as workers continue to grapple with the high cost of living. The latest increase coming in 2023, when the minimum wage moved to $260 per week, or $6.50 an hour based on a 40-hour work week.
And then we barely moved people above the poverty line. And then now, because public servants and other persons would have gotten raised in the private sector, now we have pushed those people down below the poverty line.
Martin says the length of time between wage increase remains a concern, argued that workers' pay must keep better pace with the cost of living. She's also calling for an independent oversight body to examine wage disparities and pay gaps and help ensure minimum wage reviews are not left sitting for years. Martin says the review of minimum wage must take into account workers are actually paying to live, warning that a delay in adjustment only widens the gap between wages and everyday expenses.
Underrepresented groups, including women, youth, and informal workers, risk further denied access to economic opportunities. Simple things like going to the bank to get a loan.
She made these comments on Friday at the National Part-Time Council General Assembly. Meanwhile, the Minister of Public Service, Labor and National Insurance, Pia Glover Rose, stressed the importance of stakeholders sitting together as equals to help shape the future of labor in the Bahamas. She noted that the recommendations coming out of the council will be taken to Cabinet for further review and consideration.
Very realistic. I mean, it's something that through the National Tripartite Council can be arranged. engage with the perfect stakeholders, the government representatives, the employer confederations, and the workers' representatives. That's the exact mix that needs to be at the table in terms of the effects, in terms of the causes, and in terms of the necessities of monitoring our wages.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Still on that wage review debate, Eyewitness News turning to social media today, posing the question, do you think minimum wage in the Bahamas should be increased to better reflect the cost of living? Some 88% voted yes, wages should keep pace with the rising costs. 6% voted yes, but increases should be gradual. 5% voted no, businesses may struggle to afford higher wages. Or 1% said that they were unsure. Well, a significant payday is now being felt by members of the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union, with President Keisha LaRota confirming a 17% salary increase has now kicked in. The increase was reflected in the August pay scale, along with a number of additional benefits that LaRota says members are grateful to receive. She acknowledged that negotiations were rigorous, but says union members are now seeing the fruit of that work.
There was a delay. It was supposed to commence in July, but of course, they said all of it would be paid in August, and it was done yesterday. Our members are excited about the increase. We have gained 17% salary increase over the 5 years, and of course, the bar has also been raised, and it will be $51,100 after the 5-year agreement. Also, the allowances has gone up, like I said before, with our new teachers who have been placed on the islands. Their geographical has gone up, so they should receive $3,500 to relocate, of course, with their first and last month rent. So we are excited about it.
LaRota says the union's work does not stop here. She says the union intends to continue negotiating in good faith with the hope that even more benefits can be secured for its members in the future.
Well, it only has to go up. All the teachers have been saying, we need more. And yes, we did get a good salary increase of 17%. But at the end of the 5 years, of course, we're going to ask for more because teachers deserve more. We do a lot out of our own pockets. So yes, it's only up from here.
Controversy continues to surround the reported termination of a number of Cuban teachers who were brought into the public school system to teach some specialized subjects. Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson now weighing in, acknowledging the contributions of those educators that they've made on the country's classrooms. Wilson says given their contribution, she questions whether the reported terminations were properly carried out.
I am aware of the Cuban teachers whose employment ended abruptly with the Bahamas government. For the past 20 years, the Ministry of Education and the Cuban government had a memorandum of understanding. Cuban teachers have played a pivotal, vital role in the Bahamian educational system. It is very unfortunate and grossly unfair that these teachers were allowed to return to the Bahamas, and the government knew that they were not being rehired. It is very disappointing that these teachers spent money to travel here, only to find out that they have no jobs. So in addition to emotional stress, this exacerbates their financial hardship.
Now, Eyewitness News understands that that MOU had expired, and technically no agreement was reportedly still in place, but Wilson is now calling on government to provide answers while also raising questions about the status of that MOU between the Bahamas government and the Cuban teachers. She says there needs to be clarity on what happened and what comes next for the affected teachers.
I urge the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to make definitive statements respectively to the future of the Cuban teachers who are presently in the service. Also, what is the status of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Ministry of Education and Cuba. Is it in jeopardy or has it ended? However, I take this opportunity as the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers to say to the Cuban teachers who are returning and to all Cuban teachers throughout the Bahamas from Grand Bahama to Inagua, gracias por su servicio.
The Ministry of Education responding to concerns surrounding the decision to not re-engage some 31 Cuban teachers for the upcoming school year. Ministry officials confirming that while some of the affected educators had expressed a desire to return to the classroom, there was never a guarantee that those contracts would be renewed. Officials say the teachers will be given adequate time to wrap up their personal affairs before departing the country. The ministry is also pushing back on any suggestion that its priority has shifted from addressing staffing needs, saying its focus remains on recruiting and engaging qualified Bahamian educators. According to officials, those recruitment efforts have already produced results, with a significant number of new Bahamian teachers being brought into the public school system. Another update tonight on that Cabbage Beach fence that caused controversy between vendors and developers yesterday. Minister of Tourism Glenys Hannah Martin acknowledged that construction has stopped, while what was already built of that fence has still not been taken down. Martin confirmed that developers will have it removed by tomorrow, that's Saturday. Well, we've added another access point to make sure you're up to date with the latest news. Follow the Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel by scanning that QR code on your screen, or visit our social media pages for a direct link. While you're there, don't forget to follow Eyewitness News on Instagram and Facebook. But if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Eye on News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, eyewitnessnewsbahamas@gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, should students return home after completing education abroad? We've got the answers coming up. And later tonight, a Bahamian filmmaker being recognized for his short film in Toronto. We've got more on that right after this break.
This summer, paradise is calling, and it's closer than you think. Gather your crew and escape to Royal Beach Club Paradise Island. Come relax on Chill Beach, dive into Paradise Pool, or dance all day at Party Cove with unlimited food and drink. Whether it's a family day, a friend's getaway, or the perfect staycation, your best summer memories start right here. So book your summertime in paradise at Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com.
Renovating your apartment? Furnishing an Airbnb? Or just want that hotel-grade look in your home? Then stop by Black's Liquidation Center at Town Center Mall. Get the complete Queen package for just $899 or go King for just $999. Not looking for a complete bedroom? No problem. Shop our hotel inventory piece by piece. Ceiling fans for just $40. Love seats for $150. Bed benches starting at $50. Floor lamps for $65. Nightstands starting at $60. Queen headboard and frame sets for just $175. Plus mirrors, desks, king mattresses, king headboards and frames, and so much more. Whether you're furnishing one room or an entire property, we've got liquidation prices on quality hotel inventory. And yes, local delivery is available. Visit Black's Liquidation Center at Town Center Mall or call 359-2372 today.
It starts with the school bell. Then comes the running, the noise, the mess, the whole crew coming over. It's the beautiful chaos of after school. But when hunger becomes one more thing to handle, you got this. Grab the KFC Back to School bucket. Get a free KFC fan while supplies last and scan your receipt for your chance to win a fully loaded KFC backpack. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30. climate controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple. This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting the cheapest tonight at Esso, $6.60. Rubis coming in at $6.87. Shell, $6.75. Your local prices at the pump. Well, while many students opt to pursue tertiary education out of country, what happens when their programs are completed and their degrees are secured? Our Danielle Dean speaking with members of the public tonight on this issue in this report.
Should Bahamians who study abroad feel obligated to come back home? It's a question that continues to follow young professionals as they weigh better pay and opportunities abroad against the need for their skills here at home. For the special education principal and teacher, the answer is yes. She says even if graduates spend some time working abroad, the country ultimately needs that knowledge and experience back home, especially in areas where skilled professionals are already in short supply.
Even if you decide to work for a while, I do believe that they should want to return home to continue to build up their own country. Pour into yours, you know. I know the pay may not be on par, but still want to give back to your country.
But coming home may not always mean walking into an available job. With some industries already crowded, Dr. Janessa Barros-Morley says graduates may have to create their own opportunities, particularly when they return with the skills or expertise that are not widely available here.
Especially if the field that they would have studied in is in a great demand over here and we don't have it. It's okay to start something new.
And then there's the long-standing debate over foreign workers. Bahamians often question why some professional posts are filled from abroad. But this resident argues the country also has to confront what happens when qualified Bahamians choose to build their careers elsewhere.
When they don't come back, that leaves open a lot of industries, and then the foreigners come in and then they fill up all of our maybe small businesses and big businesses. So we really, really need them to come back, invest back into the Bahamas and maybe go back, but they need to come back at some point.
The debate comes as the government has turned to foreign recruitment to help fill staffing needs in key sectors, including healthcare and education. But for Bahamians studying overseas, the question remains whether patriotism alone is enough to bring them home, particularly when salaries and career opportunities may be more attractive elsewhere. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Speaking of tertiary education opportunities, dozens of Bahamians got the chance to apply for college scholarships and other opportunities today during the second edition of the Education Pathways to Canada College Expo. Program Director Denton Dewar says last year's success for Bahamian students who've since enrolled in schools like Florida International University encouraged his return. He says opportunities are particularly attractive for students in STEM.
Gives them an opportunity as well to access application fee waivers, partial scholarships. In fact, our largest scholarship here today is a whopping 125,000 USD scholarship. And that's for students who are looking to get into med school, right? And we have every single school that's here is offering a scholarship. Yes, so on the immigration side of it, one of the advantages that students have in studying in Canada, for example, they're able to access a work permit that is going to be minimum. We're looking at a 1-year study, 1-year work permit. But for students who are studying at least for 2 years, they're able to access a 3-year postgraduate work permit, right? So that would mean for the full 5 years of their studies, they would have had a 5-year work authorization.
Western Atlantic University School of Medicine based in Freeport and Webster University based in St. Louis, Missouri. Also the San Antonio, Texas School, just two of the 400 universities that partnered today.
10 or 12 students are starting this September. Bahamian
students. I'm also very excited that we've welcomed quite a bit of family islanders. So we have Exoma, we have Abaco that's in the house. That makes me so happy because a lot of times you hear about students coming from Freeport and Nassau, but now the family island is as soon as about 2-3 weeks they can get a decision. Granted that they have all of the prerequisites and things that are needed to start.
And we are offering to students that are coming to the fair or that lives in Bahamas a granted scholarship of $18,000 for bachelor's and 20% scholarship for master's degree. So it's already granted as soon as you meet the requirements. So basically the requirements are very simple, just passport and transcripts from your high school or from your university, depending on what program you want to apply. But it's really easy, and then you will get the scholarship 100% granted as soon as you apply to the university.
Meantime, 5 emerging entrepreneurs have been selected from 114 applicants to pitch their fintech ventures as a part of a new University of the Bahamas and OKX Bahamas partnership aimed at turning innovative ideas into sustainable businesses. The partnership combines training with digital innovation. The 5 finalists selected from 27 incubator participants will pitch their ventures before a 6-member judging panel at UB's Performing Arts Center. Addressing the group, Innovation and National Development Minister Sabaz Bastian, who challenged the emerging entrepreneurs to think boldly, create their own opportunities, and chart a path of their own.
Today's platforms will change. Today's AI models will change. Today's payment rails will change. But if you understand deeply the problem and the customer, you can rebuild technologies around them as many times as you need. And also, most importantly, think beyond our borders. If you can move money across an archipelago, if you can finance small businesses with a thin file and no collateral, then you're not solving a Bahamian problem. You're also solving a small island nation problem, but you're solving a problem for the world. For far too long, small countries have been told to be consumers of innovation, to download what somebody else has built, to license what somebody else invents, to rent platforms. I want us to own. Alan Kay, one of the fathers of modern computing, put it this way: the best way to predict the future is to invent it.
He says the idea grew out of a desire to get more students engaged in fintech while advancing the broader vision of positioning the Bahamas as a leading fintech hub.
After 8 weeks of intensive incubator sessions with the UB, OKX Bahamas is here sponsoring and partnering with UB as relates to providing seed money to entrepreneurs at various stages of their entrepreneurial journey. So our first prize is $10,000 plus $7,500 in mentorship and advisory services sponsored by UB, $7,500 cash, plus $5,000 worth of mentorship and advisory services. And then third prize is $5,000 plus $2,500 of mentoring and advisory services. So they originated when we noted several things. One, there was a deficiency in understanding of the fintech space. We wanted to really capture that at the tertiary level. So we started a relationship with the University of the Bahamas last year when we were sponsors of their incubator session when we flew to Freeport with the UB Ignite program. And then after that, we continued our partnership with them with the idea of letting entrepreneurs coming now to pitch ideas and find out how can their original idea match with fintech and how we can make this work to advance country. So at the top of our mind, national development and how we can make the Bahamas a fintech space.
Meantime, Bahamian short film Visa Blue has been nominated for Best International Short Film at the Toronto International Hollywood Film Festival. The short film was the brainchild of local creative producer Nathan McPhee.
So Visa Blue is a film about a young man that's navigating, becoming himself. He's navigating wanting to pursue a life that's outside of his ordinary, outside of the norm for him, while also navigating the complexities of a father-son relationship. And so it's really a film that I feel like can relate to a lot of young Bahamians who, upon finishing school, you're navigating like what your next steps in life are going to be, whether you want to study locally or you want to study abroad. And so Visa Blue is really about the journey of discovering and navigating that process and ultimately committing to becoming something that, you yourself will be proud of.
McPhee stressing tonight that the film was not a solo work and that he could not get it done without the help of his team.
So the idea for the film came from an announcement that we saw from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that were offering support for filmmakers who would have entered the Sundance Film Festival. And during that time when the announcement initially came out, we saw it fit that we still had enough time to produce, write, edit, and direct a film. Of course, it was a very condensed process, but nonetheless, we took on the challenge. I called up a few of my friends Reneel, Tyler Ramming, who served as producers, and then we did the casting process, which we ended up moving forward with Hartman Brown, who has an extensive resume of films, being a part of Medea's film and Tyler Perry's films coming in the Bahamas, and even in the commercial sector as well. And then, of course, Ajay Kulmer, who also served as talent as well.
Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, the nominations are rolling in for the Bahamas Woman of Impact Awards. We've got the details coming up, but first a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Think you know a lot about money? Then prove it. What if one sound could win you big cash? Listen carefully. Then tell us exactly how much money went through the machine. One guess, one sound, one chance to win. Listen, guess, win. It's the sound of money. Brought to you by 103.5 The Beat. Powered by Island Lux Quick 5.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites. We offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go, to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, nominations close Monday for the upcoming Bahamas Woman of Impact Awards Gala. The event created with a focus on recognizing some staple women across the islands who are making waves in their respective industry. It's all being hosted by April Halt Smith. She's encouraging those of you who know women that are special that may align with several industries or in these categories to nominate them.
As of last night, we had 450 submissions. They can go to my website, www.thewiyp.com, and they can click the link and nominate. And once they're nominated, I have a judging system out of the US because I wanted to make it fair for all of the women. So these people do not know any of the nominees. So what they're going to do after August 31st, when the submissions end, they'll take the top 2 out of each category. When they take the top 2, they'll be notified that they are finalists and they will come to the gala. Neither one will know who won until the night of the gala. We want to make it grand for them. Some of the categories, we have ministry, we have Nail Tech of the Year, Business Owner of the Year, Faith Leader of the Year, Media Personality of the Year.
The event will be held in November, according to Smith, and she's inviting all to come out and support.
It's going to be something very tough for them. I was excited. I didn't think it would get this far, actually, but it has. We have Bahamas Air, that is our title sponsor for this event, and they will be honoring 3 of their female employees that have been with them for years. So it's going to be grand, red carpet, everything. They'll be able to purchase tickets again on the website. It'll be held at Margaritaville on November the 21st. So tickets have already started to sell, and they haven't even went on sale yet.
Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, Laurentia Smith has your latest check on sports right after this break.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurentia Smith. Thanks for joining us.
Entering the second round of the FIBA Basketball World Cup Americas qualifiers with a 2-4 win-loss record, the Bahamas knew they needed a fast start to keep their World Cup hopes alive. And that's exactly what they got. The Bahamas fought through a hostile environment inside Uruguay, holding them off to 103-94 in a pivotal third win. It wasn't an easy win. The Bahamas built a 17-point lead midway through the second quarter, only to see Uruguay to respond with a run that cut that deficit to 6 by halftime. The game remained a grind through the third and into the fourth. And then, with about 5 minutes left to play, Uruguay finally took the lead. But the Bahamas did not flinch. They answered down the stretch to secure a 9-point victory, moving to 3-4 in the quarters and dropping Uruguay 5-2. Head coach Mikel McLean praised the team for handling the moment.
I thought it was a really tough environment that we played in. Our guys did a really good job of staying together. Our point guard play was really good. Dominic Bridgewater did a great job. Our forwards were great, and Buddy Hield was Buddy Hield. So in this feisty environment we played in, for us to kind of stay together and execute the game plan, I was really proud of our group.
NBA star Buddy Hield led the way for the Bahamas, dropping 28 points and knocking down 6 of his 11 three-pointers. Dominic Bridgewater was just as critical, adding 25 points, 5 boards, and 9 assists, proving to be a steady hand for the Bahamas when needed as Uruguay made its run. The rest of the starting 5 delivered as well. Isaiah Mobley finished with 18 points and 6 boards, while Franco Miller Jr. contributed 13 points and added 4 assists. After the game, Mobley described the battle simply as a dogfight.
They brought it tonight. We got up going early, but they punched back, and then it was a dogfight from there. So tip our hat to them, but glad we came out with the W. But it was a close match, good match.
The victory comes just days after the Bahamas defeated Chile 94-87 in a friendly matchup. Now their attention turns to Panama as Team Bahamas looks to keep the momentum going as they face off against Panama on August 31st over at the Kendall G. Eliza Gymnasium. Now definitely stay tuned to Eyewitness Sports for all of the highlights from that matchup.
So that's a quick look at sports at this hour. I'm Laurentia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. We end news tonight in our celebration corner. We're congratulating Israel Roll, a student of St. Anne's College. She received 8 PJC passes, scoring all A's in subjects: English, language, mathematics, health science, religious studies, social studies, Spanish, general science, and literature, all A's. Congratulations, Israel. If you want to send a special congratulations to students on their exams, send us those proof of the results and a photo. We'll be sure to feature them in our daily newscast. Next week is the opening of the school year. Back to school, back to traffic, but send us your first day of back to school pictures right here on Eyewitness News. And the search continues for Eye on the Nation. The first week wrapped up with our co-host auditions. They've been completed. Steve and Hannah wrapping up this week's contenders today during that 4 p.m. showing. The second round begins on Monday. with Kendanique DeVoe, Carlo Ramsey on Tuesday, Justin Williamson, hey Justin, on Wednesday, and Shantiqua Claire on Thursday. You can catch them all here at 4 p.m. on ILTV Facebook page starting this Monday. You can also rewatch all of this week's contestants by visiting the ILTV Studios page on Facebook. Please share your thoughts about your pick for the next co-host of Eye on the Nation. While the competition is on, there's still time for those of you interested in trying out. Please apply, send your resume and a recent photo, along with a 1-minute video telling us who you are and why you should be the next co-host of Eye on the Nation at hr@ilstudios.com. That wraps up news this week, but coming up and beyond the headlines with Shanique Miller, it's This Week in Review. We've got the details coming up right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night, be safe, and have a great weekend, everyone.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
So you want a space.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
It's Week in Review Fridays. Tonight, a week that the FNM leader Michael Pintard flexed his political muscles, telling former Prime Minister and FNM leader Hubert Ingram he's not been a part of his political career. Therefore, any advice that he has for him should have been spoken to in private. We get into it tonight. Also tonight, Grand Key finally getting some relief. The power is back on. And later, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Policing and School Division is here on the eve of the new school year. The officer in charge talks to us about how the force will keep campuses safe. This is Beyond the Headlines, Week in Review Fridays. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, following a crushing election defeat, former Prime Minister and former leader of the Free National Movement, Hubert Ingram's call to find someone who could win, his words, has put current party leader Michael Pintard on the defensive. We've been seeing this play out for the last few days, you all. But the FNM leader is making it clear he and only him will decide when and what he does. Linton Ritchie Jr. has the story.
Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard is firing back at former party leader and Prime Minister Hubert Ingram, taking issue with comments that appeared to challenge his leadership, saying the time of Ingram's remarks was simply not appropriate.
I would not make those comments in that setting. It's not the appropriate setting for those comments, particularly since you have multiple opportunities to say that to an organization that holds you in reverence.
After backing Pintard to the 2026 general election, Ingram seemingly had a change in heart while speaking at an event to observe the anniversary of the party's 1992 election victory, calling on party officials to, quote, find someone who could win. Since Pintard took the helm of the party, his record reflecting 2 by-election defeats, first in West Grand Bahama and Bimini in 2023, and again in Golden Isles 2 years later. Then came the 2026 general election, where the PLP secured 33 seats to the FNM's 8. However, despite the electorate having its say and inside debate surrounding the consideration of new leadership for the party, Pintard says not now.
The convention will ultimately make the decision. And do I believe I remain the best option for the Free National Movement? I do.
Citing his loyalty to the party, choosing what he says was best for the party and not his own political advancement, Pintard reflected on 2 instances where Ingram had selected him to run against both former Prime Minister Perry Christie and Prime Minister Philip Davis in what's known as political suicide. As the FNM conducts its post-mortem following the election defeat, Pintard says Ingram's remarks have distracted from the issues he says government should be answering for, from persistent BPL blackouts to allegations of public funds being misappropriated.
I thought the PLP is on the road. They're in the papers.
You can see what's happening.
Let's understand the context.
Yeah.
So don't talk to me publicly on a matter matter if you're sending a message, if you're attempting to send a message.
Despite the remarks many see as offensive, Pintard says he's not fazed.
This a big man and woman game.
Yeah.
If you can't handle some chafing or even statements made in a context that you don't agree that it's appropriate venue or timing, you shouldn't be in this business.
Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
You heard the F&M leader there, big man business. Stay out because your time finished. He said to hell with all the rest of it. Listen, by the way, the leader, Michael Pintard, says he plans on doing a tour, I guess a national tour, so that the Bahamian people can get to know him and get to know who he is and have a better appreciation for that. We're going to jump in right there this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors, Leslie Miller and Michael Turnquest. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. Week in Review Fridays, guys.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Bahamas.
It's been listen, that turned things. I mean, when we couldn't slap up BPL anymore, there came former Prime Minister and F&M leader Hubert Ingram that says, Pintard, hold up. You had since May to figure things out. You, F&Ms, get someone who can inspire, motivate, have a message, be appealing to the Bahamian people, and win an election for the F&M. And it don't seem to be the person in the seat. Well, we all see now Michael Pintard has said, wait a minute, Hubert Ingram, slow your roll. Gentlemen, your thoughts on how this is playing out before our eyes?
You know, Shanique, I think this is one that needs to be dissected very, very carefully. You know, at the end, last night, after hearing those comments, that sat heavy on my heart.
I know that because you showed it to me about a damn midnight last night.
and I had to post on this because, you can't use the glory of Ingram when it's beneficial to you, and then all of a sudden we know the type of leader Mr. Ingram is that he has been. He speaks his mind, and now all of a sudden the tables have turned, and you're kind of backpedaling in terms of the big man game. He shouldn't have said this out in public. We need to stop. And when I say we, I say and F&Ms, orchestrating F&Ms when they speak, whether it be publicly or privately, as it relates to what's happening. Because at the end of the day, the trajectory in which the F&M has been going over the past decade has been in a downward spiral. And it's the council members of the F&M, if they haven't listened to Bahamian people, you already put the leadership of the F&M out there in a general election. The Bahamians said no. They loudly said no because the results showed. There should be no reason why there should be any type of tour to show the people who you really are. When you had a whole election, you had years to put yourself out there, you had years to show the Bahamian people. What is it? Is it something that, that's being hidden that we don't know about? The council, and I put this on the shoulders of the council. The council needs to make the decision and force, whether it be a convention, whether it be who decide, and make the very hard decisions in terms of, I've said it before, whether they look across the floor, whether they look at the public and say, who is it the best person to lead them, but who the Bahamian people will accept, who they think will be winnable to the masses. Be able to ignite that base.
Leslie and Michael, perhaps everyone is being a little unfair to the leader because if he wants to have this tour where on his own terms, on his own schedule, his own rhythm, he goes to island by island.
Shanique, come on, man. Shanique.
Island by island, community by community.
You've been island by island doing election.
Exactly.
You've been community by community doing election. The people said no. It's a resounding no. There's no more time. See, this is what we get mixed up in politics. The F&M has no more time to be testing in terms of what they've already know has not worked for them. Because here's what happens. You take too long to make a decision, right? And then you get closer to a general election. And then all of a sudden, people come out of a convention licking their wounds. They're upset. What goes again? The party goes right back in a downward spiral because everybody is upset that, we should have done what they should have done 3 years ago. Is what they decide they want to do a year before a general election. Then the party comes out of a convention. It comes out infighting, and what happens? They're not ready for a general election. And this is what Michael Pintard is going to set the F&M up, whereas though he holds on for another year, 2 years, whatever it might be, and then the party is not a well-oiled machine for the upcoming general election. That's what he is setting the F&M up for.
You know, what I find incredible in this scenario with Mr. Pintard throwing jobs at Mr. Ingram, that he shouldn't have seen what he said. I've known Mr. Ingram, Perry Christian, Philip Brave Davis, for at least 60 years of my life. And when it comes to leadership, especially with Mr. Ingram compared with Pintard, if Pintard lived to be 1,000, he couldn't fit into one of Mr. Ingram's shoes when it comes to leadership. I don't know where this little fella believe he coming from. It's time for you to go to get lost. You are not a leader. You don't have what it takes to lead. The people have shown you that. You say the same things over and over and over again. This week he holler, the government shouldn't come with this one particular tax frame to help Bahamians. The Chamber of Commerce said yesterday, they love it. They are so thankful for it being.
So what do you think?
He's clueless.
So Leslie, he's entitled to his opinion, Michael and Leslie. But are you saying that he appears to always address the issues out of sync with when the issue is actually trending?
He is clueless.
And that maybe he is always on sort of the opposite page to what, let's say, for example, the wider community is on?
He's clueless when it comes to politics.
I wouldn't touch, at the end of the day, sometimes some people have to take constructive criticism, right, and internalize it and make decisions in terms of whatever it is that they plan to do moving forward. I think there's no discredit to Mr. Pintard in terms of what he has done in his community as a member of parliament.
He was a good member.
But at the end of the day, it comes back to leadership. And self-belief is not leadership. That does not, you basically telling yourself, I am the best person for this job. That's not leadership. And this is what we need to get.
But perhaps that is, gentlemen, but perhaps that is boasted by the fact that this man has been elected and re-elected 3 times. That should stand for something.
That's a member of parliament.
And that's a safe F&M seat within Grand Bahama. Mr. Ingram was the first one to turn Grand Bahama around in 91, I was there. When he beat us.
But it goes back to that. Not everybody is cut out for leadership. It goes back that's a community leader, a member of parliament that has done an excellent job amongst his people. But at the end of the day, he still does not resonate with the masses. The wider community.
Yes.
Because you realize we got a lot of different demographics within the Bahamian community. You have to be able to get down to the lowest of low, to the highest of high, and be able to say, hey, let me bring all of you all together because the F&M is still fractioned.
What does Michael Pintard lack that is not getting the job done?
The Bahamian people will be better because at the end of the day, I'm only one class of
you've been very vocal on social media. In fact, up to midnight we were talking because you have a lot to say.
The obvious leadership is it. And resonating with the masses, and that being the person who live in the Bain and Grants town, being able to straight up to the person maybe in Life with Key. He's somewhere in between, but he's not covering the whole spectrum.
And not only that.
And that's where he's lacking. And this self-belief of that I am the best option to lead the F&M, that there right there proves within itself that he is not ready for leadership. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you have to reflect. Because I can tell you, if I was the leadership of the F&M and I took the cut up that I was taking a vacation and going home, telling you, hey, you all go have your convention, but let me take a break.
Leslie, what is it that the leader lacks that is not resonating, is not getting the job done? Has Mr. Ingram speaking out the way he is right now?
What is incredible, as Dave and I went door-to-door, I'm talking about every constituency, okay, from Bain Town to the Grove. To 5 Pound lot all over this country. Women are scared of this man named Pintard. I told you all that before. People are afraid that there's some hatefulness in him that turns women off, and the women are the ones who cause you to win. Say, Mr. Miller, why he sounds so mean? Why he's so mean-spirited? Why he have to do Dr. Minister way he had to do it. Why he had to get rid of my good buddy there as Minister works on the deputy? Why he had to do that? Why there's a streak in him that frightens women. You cannot win an election without them women on your side, my brother, and you don't have it. If he was the leader, he would have resigned his seat in Grand Mama, have a by-election, give somebody else a post, and let the FNM move on.
Well, I'll tell you this. This obviously isn't going anywhere because we are told, Michael, that Mr. Ingram at some point this evening is having a meeting.
I think
that's the word on the street.
That's the word on the street.
Word on the street. Okay, well, we'll see. But certainly this isn't going anywhere because now Mr. Ingram has stirred the pot, if only that, to have people look and say, wait a minute, does the FNM need to put, before we go to Grand Key, yes, Leslie, what's going on?
With the greatest respect, you can't even put Mr. Ingram and this man you're talking about in the same sentence, not even in the same paragraph. When it comes to leadership, man, come on.
At the end of the day, the FNM needs someone who can stand on their own 2 feet.
Isn't he? Listen to me. In all fairness, isn't he doing that this week by saying, Mr. Ingram, with all due respect,
by saying what?
It's too late for that.
Go thy way.
He could say anything in the little room he was in. That don't resonate with nobody out there. The people who are going to the polls don't listen to him. There's a disconnect between him and them.
What people have to realize in the FNM, at the end of the day, I think there's going to be healthy conversation, and that's what I want to call it, healthy conversations between now and maybe until a convention. And what the FNM needs to do...
If he calls one.
Yeah, if he calls one. But they need to entertain it. You can't try put it aside and try to muzzle individuals. You have to listen, because at the end of the day, you're trying to resonate with the masses, and a lot of them have a lot of old FNMs, maybe new FNMs, got a lot of things on their heart they want to get off.
Well, gentlemen,
and that's the conversation you have to have.
Gentlemen, this topic isn't going anywhere. We know that, and I'll tell you this. But Mr. Ingram surely did take this off the front in headlines. This one here. After 3 weeks of darkness and heat and misery and strife and all the rest of it, electricity has been restored to Grand Key in Abaco. Bahamas Power and Light confirming that much. I think it was late yesterday about the extending outage, which they say came back after 8 o'clock Wednesday evening. Now, Marvin Green, BPL's Northern Regional Manager, says the company is moving forward and moving expeditiously on a long-term generation project aimed at increasing capacity, providing a backup generation, and improving reliability on the key.
The company will be visiting with the members of the community, those that were impacted. I mean, everyone were impacted, but where persons may need to submit claims for damages, those will be given special attention to ensure that we at least try to recover some of the loss regarding these last events. So again, we understand and we're relieved to be able to make this announcement today. Our work has not finished. We still have to find some form of redundancy there because again, both of our units did fail. Two brand new units that were under warranty are still out for repairs and they haven't been repaired as yet.
You know what the nation wants to know, including, well, especially Grand Key, is the month of August free. That's all. That's all they need. That's all we want to know. I will let Leslie and Michael respond to that and have their say right after the break. This is Beyond the Headlines, Week in Review Fridays. We're back right after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Uh-oh, luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! Help! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, process you, and entertains you 24/7.
Renovating your apartment? Furnishing an Airbnb? Or just want that hotel-grade look in your home? Then stop by Black's Liquidation Center at Town Center Mall. Get the complete queen package for just $899 or go king for just $999. Not looking for a complete bedroom? No problem. Shop our hotel inventory piece by piece. Ceiling fans for just $40, love seats for $150, bed benches starting at $50, floor lamps for $65, nightstands starting at $60, queen headboard and frame sets for just $175, plus mirrors, desks, king mattresses, king headboards and frames, and so much more. Whether you're furnishing one room or an entire property, we've got liquidation prices on quality hotel inventory. And yes, local delivery is available. Visit Black's Liquidation Center at Town Center Mall or call 359-2372 today.
My name is Charles Wesley Gould. My organic farm is Nice Layers Organic Farm. I have 230 birds up here. I give them fresh water, pumpkin, lettuce, cabbages, all the vegetables. Anything what I eat, they eat. Right now we sell the eggs for $7 a dozen from Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, you can get 4 dozen eggs for $21. I'll be located on Jamaica Road, the western side, Silverstone Primary School.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
Well, just before the break, we heard the Northern Service Manager for BPL speak on the restoration of power to Grand Key, Abaco, after about 3 weeks of just sheer misery for those people, spending hundreds of dollars at a time on those who were lucky enough to have generation or generator power. And he says it's been restored and they're looking to install and have something more permanent. Leslie and Michael, this has been such an unprecedented power outage and issues with BPL for the nation, and then Grand Key, 3 whole weeks without power.
Shanique, it's unfortunate. My hearts go to, the people of Grand Key, with this, because this is, you're talking about lives, you're talking about, people's goods and things of that sort. You hear some, I call them the pundits, and they say, well, the U.S. have outages. Yeah, they have outages due to, whether it be storms or snowstorms and things of that sort. You don't see a 3-week outage.
Not a 3 week.
A 3-week outage just due to failure of equipment and things of that sort. And I hope BPL is looking at giving them, I don't know what, I can't even think of what it is.
They have to give them August free.
Yeah, they have.
No, even what's
you look at it.
They didn't buy nothing.
But look at people. Look at the general population.
And replace their food on the other apparatus.
Exactly.
Well, you heard him say that they're looking at those things to itemize and see what people lost.
Don't look. Don't look. There's no time for looking.
There's no time to look.
You need to say, we will be doing this.
Okay, exactly.
Whatever you lost, we will replace.
That look may make you do
not be looking.
Look, they can do nothing.
Yeah, that's. It leaves it up for debate because then they can go through. Oh, we don't think it's up to their determination.
Did you really look at this?
Yeah.
Did you really lose this? Did you really that?
It's unfortunate that in this day and age, we persons do know. I think people they're very lenient if you know they had a storm pass through and a loss of poles and things of that sort. But for 3 weeks, just to say, hey, failure of equipment. We're doing the best that we can.
And you all remember the joke when they couldn't get the boat to leave from a certain facility because the owners of the resort say, no, you all can't depart from here and upload the generator. It was for a whole 3 weeks. It was just a joke.
But then you still have individuals, and I'm not going to call no names, still stating that we are ready. I don't know if you're getting ready for the summer or what.
Summer and gone now.
So it's unacceptable. It's really, again, my hearts go to them because at the end of that, I kind of imagine the grocery and things that they have to replace, and now they have to go in the food stores and go try to replenish. I assume the food stores could only hold so many because of generators. So
my question to the man who made that statement on behalf of those persons on the key, and God bless them for the last 3 weeks, they were in the Stone Age to be able to have electricity. Were you all not aware of some pending problem there to correct it before it happened. Now you're saying you're going to put in the apparatus to see to it that if it happens again, you'll have extra power. Come on, man. Where you live? But you are some executive, and you wasn't aware that there was a problem there before it turned to lights being out for 3 weeks?
You know, and I don't know.
Come on, man.
I don't know if the issue was on the generation or distribution side, because these days you don't know what's going on. You know, who doing what or whatever's going on.
Yeah, that's another thing.
But you know, you have these, and then the Gryco generators that we, the
Gryco.
Gryco generators.
Gryco.
I mean, why not as quick as if it's generation, go back to them, and because you see one of those Gryco generators would overturn, so they're still on the island running about here somewhere.
Yeah.
So you know, why didn't we send 5, 6 of them? But like I say, nobody knows what the details are.
But what was his job? His job is to know in advance that there's a pending problem and correct it before it happens.
Leslie know what? They could barely find wires and stuff underground in Nassau. You think they could find it and locate it and determine in advance on any island?
Yeah, man.
Boy.
I don't know if he's going there. He probably never been out there himself.
You get more faith.
The fella sit in his office and come but he probably know what the damn island is.
You get more faith in them than me.
No, I've been there for 9 years, so, you know.
In Grand Key?
No, I'm talking about...
He means in the chair, so he knows how it operates. Meanwhile, gentlemen, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell says it's not only the Bahamas that's repatriating illegal immigrants. Remember earlier this week, and if we get to it, we will do so. But remember, there's a whole lot of talk going on about xenophobia and Bahamians wanting to target just one set of people and repatriate them. Well, many of you had thoughts on this as well, and we're going to get this story from Danielle Dean as we hear what the U.S. is doing.
They got to be Bahamian citizens or they don't get landed. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
140 Bahamians have been deported home from the United States for 2026 alone. This figure came from Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell, who in recent history has strongly advised Bahamians to be more responsible, stressing how difficult it is to reverse the consequences of overstaying.
In January 30, February 14, March 30, April 18, May 14, June 14, July 2, August 18, for a total of 140 this year. Deported from the United States.
This comes as the government continues to carry out a series of repatriation exercises mainly involving Haitian nationals, with the most recent being Thursday, where 104 Haitian nationals were sent back home. For some, the revelation that Bahamians are too being returned home is a humble reminder that there are some that believe they have a shot at a better life in another country, even if they have to do it illegally. For other residents, they say overstaying Bahamians will mean the innocent suffer for the guilty.
The same way how we are behind the government to deport illegal immigrants, I do believe that if Bahamians are somewhere illegally, that they should be deported back home also. And if they get deported, then you get deported. You can't get mad. You don't have your papers. And don't make it hard for me. I need to travel. So come, and if you don't come willingly, and if they ship you here back home, then so be it.
It's not worth pretending you've gone off to greener pastures, this resident argues, when you're not doing it the right way.
They post a lifestyle that isn't really real. So you would be in the Bahamas saying that, okay, so-and-so is in New York or in California and they live in, but at the end of the day, they may be living worse than you. It's just a facade that they are living better in another country.
As the United States tightens up on its immigration crackdown, foreign affairs officials warn Bahamians to lawfully seek residency and citizenship in other countries. Otherwise, a buildup of offenses could be to the detriment of the wider Bahamian public. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
You heard what Bahamians had to say, what the minister had to say, but before you all respond, Mitchell is also reacting to CARICOM election observation missions. There are concerns about xenophobia targeted at Haitian nationals, specifically during the election process. A whole lot happening there. Take a listen.
Suffice it to say, at the official level, we do our best to ensure that the standard which obtains throughout the country, and I think this is largely true of all of our citizens, that there's a respect for people regardless of race, color, creed, or national origin, and that remains our position, and we will continue to say that that ought to be the case. In our country, immigration is a fracture line, and I think that's going to continue to be the case going forward.
So, of course, we talked about the U.S. repatriating about 140 Bahamians this year already. And then we went right into the xenophobia that CARICOM observers during our election said that Bahamians have. Listen, first of all, that xenophobia is everywhere. Throughout CARICOM and even the United States. Thank you, especially. So y'all MYOB.
And Turks and Caicos, don't forget.
Especially Turks and Caicos. So don't come here and act.
Take the damn people country from them.
Don't come here and act extra, but y'all making observations.
I mean, you look at it. Donald Trump. He spoke. I guess he was xenophobic.
Unapologetically, okay, and yes, exactly. So CARICOM.
The norm is normally whatever country has, I guess, the influx, and just so that's more than likely. Exactly. I call it the topic of conversation in terms of whatever country that's a huge influx. You know, as for us, we know exactly where our big influx of illegal immigration comes from, and there are others. And I think we have touched over time all of the different nationalities in terms of a lot of them. Yes, they do have to go. And that's, it's just, but it is what it is. Mind your business.
But Leslie, before you respond, there in the time of an election, there's been no xenophobia expressed. Certainly not on no large scale to be a concern for CARICOM. No. Here's why. Yeah, there were one or two people talking about the passport fraud and aiming it at Haitians and Haitians getting citizenships to vote. That was stupid. It shouldn't have happened to begin with. We said that on this show.
Exactly.
But Haitians or persons of Haitian heritage were not prevented from voting in the last election.
We look as though we made every opportunity for them to come to the poll, whether it be translation, things of that sort. I think we overexerted what needed to be done, because at the end of the day, I am of the belief that in order for you to have a Bahamian passport or to vote in our election, you should be able to speak English.
I agree with you too. And don't forget now, most of the countries in Caribbean don't entertain the Haitian immigrants.
They don't.
Let's make that clear. But look at Turks and Caicos, where there's some 18,000 Turks and Caicos to 32,000 Haitians. Those people are tired, they're afraid of their future. I'm concerned about our future for Bahamians yet unborn. Like Mr. Lawkins Roker, God bless him, used to say, if you don't fix it now, it will destroy you. And I'm convinced that within 30 years, if you don't deal with this problem now, we could be gone.
We will be a minority.
We could be gone.
And we're going the fine places. You hear about us going to retire Bahamas. This would be, we would be like countries like Cayman, Bermuda, where as though all the little that are left, all we're doing is just working for whether it be the foreigners and basically become a minority in our own country.
Well, first, you better try and make sure these people know English and math. Hey, how about that?
Look at the beach people fighting.
Because Bahamians have decided they are going to exclude themselves out of the mainstream operations of this nation.
Yeah, that's because they don't want to train themselves for the damn jobs that are out there that the foreigners are doing. And this school, this technical school, need to step to the plate. One of the guys who I think is head of BTVI said it's going to cost $185 million to put up, I don't know what damn world he live in, to put up a school. You got to try, make the first step, train them, put up a school out there on the sports center, get our people ready, please.
There's a lot to be done. Whether it be AI, a lot of things in terms of, at the end of the day,
work to do.
People talk about AI taking jobs. First of all, we have to tool our individual in terms of how to use it, how to accept it. And these are the things that we don't do. Maybe, and hopefully, these are things that they.
But you got a new ministry now.
Yeah. So there's a lot of work to be done.
Absolutely, gentlemen, you all talk. I think we are limited in this segment with this story, so we won't go to it. But the beach vendors at Paradise Island, Cabbage Beach, are talking, asking the developers there. We know those developers and the government to not erect a fence there on Cabbage Beach so that they can continue using the beach. You all, what do you?
I think I saw Lincoln Deal, the member of Freetown, speaking to that in terms of the high water mark. At the end of the day, the high water mark is the high water mark. That doesn't change. No. And you can put all the fence, but you can't place a fence illegally beyond or past the high water mark, whereas you're stopping Bahamians from doing what they've been doing for the past 18, 20 years. This is where we need to stop, and we continue to sell to foreigners, and whereas though it's now starting to impose
on Bahamian people property,
on Bahamian property, things that should belong to us. At the end of the day, all many people are trying to do is try to make a living. That's all you have, Bahamians out there, and we should protect our Bahamians. That's key.
You know, the policy under the late Sir Lyndon government, especially Mr. Hanna, and that's why Glenda Santa Martin will stop them from putting up the fence. You don't sell Crown land. You lease it to foreigners. You don't sell. That is the people's land, and they have every right to go on any beach in this country. Anywhere we have that right. Because in fact, most of us don't have the privilege to go into the beaches. Because y'all got us working so hard, we the ones slaving. What do y'all could take the weekend off? We can't even take the weekend off.
Well, the thing is, when you lease it to them, it's like they own it because they can do whatever they want to do with it and still keep you out.
At the end of the day, the government always have the option that you govern yourself accordingly. If not, we take it back.
Which government in recent time will take it back and send the people packing? Which?
None. I know one thing. You don't go in Dubai and mess around.
We didn't say Dubai. Here in the Bahamas. Which?
The best way we got to get serious. We have to get serious.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Gentlemen, I thank you both very much. You guys always bring it on a Friday evening. Bam. Michael, you're not writing much tonight, right? You're not going to write.
No, teachers are now. I understand.
Which teachers, Leslie? From Ghana?
From Ghana.
What you trying to get a wash? What you trying to do?
Just get a bath. Do the right thing.
When these Bahamian teachers deal with you, Leslie, who just were rehired, and you doggone playing, but you love these.
I just want the Ministry of Education. You leave it to Leslie. A lot of them ain't going to work.
Listen, I thank you, gentlemen. We will see next week. We will see next week where these new Ghanaian teachers are. We'll talk about that next week. But meanwhile, I thank you very much, Leslie Miller, Michael Turnquest. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at school policing just in time for the start of the new school year. This is Beyond the Headlines.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Good to have you all tuned in this week in Review Fridays. Well, on Monday, thousands of students are preparing to return to the classrooms. The focus is not just on books, teachers, and learning. It's on security, discipline, and keeping students safe. School resource officers, police officers are being deployed as part of a broader strategy to tackle violence, drugs, truancy, disruptive behavior, and other threats on campuses. Joining me this evening is the officer in charge of school policing, Superintendent Keith Ferguson. Good evening to you, Superintendent Ferguson. Great to have you here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Headlines.
Yes, ma'am. And good evening, Bahamas.
Yes. What is the first thing, the sort of front and center, the main focus headed into this 2026 school year?
Let me start off by saying that, in keeping with the Commissioner of Police policing policy 2026, Priority 6, the Commissioner has mandated the School Police Division to empower our youth through sustained partnerships, that be private or public, and also sustain what we call positive youth engagement initiatives in the effort to divert our youth from negative or criminal activities and help them become productive members of society. With that said, let me say that the School Police Division, we are in a partnership with the Ministry of Education. We don't do anything in the schools without their consent, without their permission. We are a support mechanism. We have three main objectives, okay? Our first main objective would be we assist the Ministry of Education with ensuring that our schools are safe and secured, and that the school is a stable environment conducive to learning. That's our first main objective. Secondly, we assist the Ministry of Education, the administration, with what we call positive youth engagement activities. Our school resource officers, they speak with students daily on various topics, the importance of making right choices, conflict resolution, the dangers of being involved in gangs, firearm, drugs, anti-bullying messages. You know, bullying in all its forms is wrong, whether it be physical, verbal, social bullying. And you know, the big issue now, we have something called cyberbullying. And when you do the background check, we find out that a lot of cases, before it came physical or verbal, or even social, it happened online, it happened on social media. Okay? And then thirdly...
But how's the police sort of getting and trying to infiltrate that? Because that's kind of different and unique. What's the plan to be able to kind of nip that and maybe even stay ahead of it rather than catch up?
Well, everything is education, okay? Letting the students, our young persons, know the dangers by getting online, even communicating with strangers on social media. One time ago, they had something called stranger danger. Don't accept a ride from a stranger. Don't accept candy. Don't talk to a stranger. But now the stranger danger is on these electronic devices, the phone, the laptop, okay? And so we try to educate our students, because at the end of the day, we want to train our students to be able to make the right decision on their own. A police can't be on every street corner.
No, or on every campus.
On any campus.
At every minute.
At every minute. The parents are not going to be there at times. The administration, the teachers are not going to be there. But if we could train our students to make the right decision, think about it, process it. Is this good for me? What's going to be the repercussions if I was to do this? Then they'll be in a better position to police themselves. So it's education and running scenarios and having conversations with our young persons. I think that's very important.
Do you think that the work already, because overall, while we know there have been instances, there's also been many students who in pockets have been rushed to the hospital, and we'll get to that because of drug use, meaning edibles and whatnot. But do you think your work already has made the impact, the desired results that you want? Because you are reporting that there's a decline in school violence or campus violence.
Yes. Well, just our presence, the police presence alone is a deterrent to criminal activities. This uniform we wear, being visible in the early morning hours. You know, we have a lot of traffic next week. So I've told all my school resource officers, first thing in the morning, you get there early, you be visible, you be the deterrent to the person who's going to block up the road, cause more congestion. The parent who's going to let the child off in the street, as opposed to in the school, will bring the child in life in danger. So just our presence there is a deterrent to crime. And yes, incidents are turning down. And what you have to have at the schools, we call overlapping layers of security. So it's a combination of the school resource officer, the administration, the staff, the security team there. Now we have also on board, as of last year, to all the schools within New Providence, crossing guards. And we call that the perimeter security. Okay, so we want our officers to be visible, to deal with traffic infractions, to help ease the traffic congestions at the schools, at the choke points. And then also we assist with the overall security of the schools. So that means we may need to check persons coming onto the compound, the backpacks, and make sure they have no, what you call contraband,
Let's talk about parents. Parents are, and we're talking and as it relates to security and accountability, and even in terms of their children, what is being done to discourage parents? And I know that you all are sending out ahead of the new school year a warning to parents that their interference, their violence, their losing their tempers and coming and showing out on school campuses will not be tolerated.
So I'm glad you brought this up, because that's my third objective. We enforce any law that may be breached on the school compound or the surrounding areas. So we take a zero tolerance approach. And not just parents, anyone who think they can come onto the school compound and disrupt the safety and security of the students. And not only the students now, the security of the administration, the teachers, or anyone else who must come onto the compound. And I would encourage parents, when they do come on the compound, there's policies and procedures for the safety of all students. So once you come onto a compound, you must make a check first at the security desk, present a valid government ID, okay, so you know who you are. They'll document, and then they will call ahead to see if you do in fact have an appointment at the school premises, on the premises.
So you're not just going to be able to show up and figure, no, I'm here to see a certain teacher, or no. You have to have a...
Past experience has shown that sometimes when that is allowed, the person would come and say, okay, I come here to see John Doe. We have a meeting for 1 o'clock. I'm going to the administration office. Then on their way to the administration office, they detour and go someplace else. And then it's an issue. So once they reach that checkpoint, the security will call ahead. Does John Doe has an appointment to see you? Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. The security officer or the SRO or an administrator would then escort that person to where they need to go. And when they're concluded, they be escorted back off the premises.
Escorted back off the premises,
Yes.
Which is really, really necessary. And because parents oftentimes are the biggest distraction, not in the best way, the biggest distraction on a school campus.
Well, I say, gone are the days when we say, do as I say and not as I do. Now, back in the old days, that's the way with us. Today, parents need to be an example to their students, their child, to their children. Okay, they must lead by example. We had last semester, we had 1 or 2 incidents where we had to put parents before the court. Okay, because they didn't know how to govern themselves when they came onto the compound. They made threats of death. Some cases, physically assaulted persons on the compound. So we have to take a zero tolerance approach to anyone coming onto the compound and disturbing that security or that sanctity of the students studying. And I tell persons, when you have persons come onto a compound and disrupt the whole school, I call that a crime against the community.
Yes.
Reason being, you have hundreds and hundreds of parents who have sacrificed to ensure that their child got to school on time, got uniform, that they're properly equipped. But now the whole compound is disrupted. The school is on lockdown until the community could determine what is going on. So that whole, the teacher's lesson plan the exam, everything comes to a stop.
The entire day is lost.
It's lost.
And we all know that can be ill afford, based still on national exam results and that kind of thing that's been shown just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, a matter of fact, last week, not even a few weeks ago. Let's talk about emerging trends. We saw some of that show up last semester on school campuses. Groups of students having to be, private schools and public schools having to be rushed to hospital because of edibles and whatnot. How is the police policing that?
Again, education. You know, we have a saying that when the U.S. sneezes, we here in the Bahamas catch a cold. Okay? And we look at the trends in the U.S. and we try to go be ahead of those, be proactive. So again, you're educating not only our parents and the administration at school, but the students. A lot of the items they're using now look similar to the regular house items.
That's right.
The potato chips,
Snacks and
the snacks, the gummy bears, the candies, even chocolate. So we want to educate person on what they need to look for, the THC levels, maybe the little marijuana leaf insignia on the packages. Also the names, okay, read the contents. September, we go straight into October, Halloween.
You know.
Trick or treat.
Yeah.
So parents have an awesome responsibility to ensure that when their child receive any type of candy or treat, to make sure that it's the right, check the package, check the labeling. THC level, does it have marijuana in it? Because this is what it's, I mean, you look at it, it looks exactly the same.
It is. It's the same treats we all know about. How about pursuing and targeting adults who go at vulnerable students to say, hey, listen, I have this to sell, and not informing them, but just selling them these treats?
Well, I'll say our drug enforcement unit, they have been very successful this year. It may not have been broadcast, but it's before the court, some hours before the court, where they have arrested persons who have been bringing in these synthetic drugs, these marijuana-infused candies, gummies, chips, chocolates. But they have been very successful in their endeavor in targeting these prolific offenders in that regards. Because here's it now, you're destroying the life of a young person. A young person's brain is still formulating until the age of 21. When you have these synthetic drugs, in a lot of cases we don't even know what inside these vapes, these gummy bears, okay? It stagnates their brain development. So it stagnates them and their ability to learn, to comprehend, to make the right decisions and the right choices. We say conflict resolution, but you got to be able to comprehend what's going on first, eh? You know, so we've taken a serious stance on that. And also, too, we are looking at truancy. Studies have shown that when a student or a child does not attend school, they are more likely to get involved in negative or criminal activity.
Absolutely. What are 3 objectives you want to, by the end of this semester, this school year, to have noticeably achieved and say, you know what, we did a good job, campuses around the nation are in a better place?
Well, first we want to make sure, number 1, schools are secured, they're safe, they're stable for students to come there on a daily basis and learn. We want to make sure the teachers feel safe to teach. The administrators feel safe to administrate, okay? And that's paramount. I think that's the first thing. Because once you have a stable environment, it gives the student the best opportunities to be the best student, okay? Secondly, we want to also develop our relationship with our community. Because we call it a team, this is a team partnership. You know, back in the day, the old proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. I believe in that. You know, beyond the headlines, we're part of the village. The Royal Bank Police Force, we are part of the village. The education, Ministry of Education, they are part of the village. And I always tell my officers, if we are like some cases the lifeline to a lot of these students. And if all of us throw out a lifeline beyond the headlines, Ministry of Education, the Royal Mounted Police Force, community partners, that child has a greater success rate to survive.
Yeah.
And I think that's the direction we need to head in.
Absolutely. And in 30 seconds, Superintendent, what do you want to say to the students who will be heading out on Monday morning to campuses across the nation?
Well, I'd like to say to them, be safe. Be safe. Take advantage of these opportunities that we have here in the Bahamas. When I tour the campuses, we have so much opportunities here. You could be introduction in carpentry, electricians, mechanic, beautician, inmate to cook. Some of these are opportunities we have here. A lot of the colleges don't have them. So I just want to encourage them, go do the right thing, make the right decisions, make the right choices. Think before you act. They say we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we could listen twice as much as we speak.
Very, very good.
Yes.
Good advice for adults as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Superintendent Keith Ferguson, Officer in charge of school policing here in the Bahamas, getting ready for Monday and the new school year. We wish you all the best, and certainly, of course, this platform remains open to you for anything that you need to discuss and get across as well during the term. Thank you once again. And a huge thank you to all of you for tuning in all week long, including tonight in this Week in Review Fridays. It's been awesome having you hang out all week. I look forward to seeing you right back here on Monday evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great and a blessed weekend, everyone.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness.